So I'm trying to learn how to heal energy, and energy as in number, and energy as in like astrological signs. And I have come as long as I started to feel this during Taurus season. I'm quite healthy as a person, and when the energy shifts and I don't haven't healed that part of myself, I just lose it and I can't figure out why all of a sudden I'm not healthy and I don't do the routines that I usually do. I become like a different person almost. So I started to think about that during Taurus season. I took my car and I went on extremely long walks, which were nice. Um, and I was more indulgent, and I had a hard time feeling like it was enough. So I overate. During that time, it started to, like, the stress was starting to kind of come up to the surface too. And I had no idea how to handle any of it. And then Gemini season came in, and now I can say that my heart started to race when Gemini season came in. And Gemini season is our nervous system. So I'm extremely sensitive. So when I try to kind of maneuver myself around on a daily basis, these energy, these energies just really affects me quite a lot. I have joked in the past that my Capricorn placement is broken, or I'm never going to be able to kind of heal this or handle this or whatever kind of part of me that has felt powerless, I guess, towards it. Like if the energies want this, then they are going to have it. That is not true though, and I'm starting to realize that. And I've also started to learn more about how to heal the numbers, the energies that we have around us, what they want, and how we can like drag out the good in the energy rather than the bad, or how we can learn to work with the lesser good traits of every energy. I started with the number 5, which is the bakery, obviously, and I do feel like a need to do creative things there. So I'm going to continue spending time at like a number 5 energy. Then it was a number 1, which were like the riding school and the golf club. Um, and I understood that you're very like independent and it's like a forceful energy, but you need to work a lot with kind of community and getting people to be involved with each other. The riding school had they had this they had a coffee after every ride, so everybody was sitting down and someone in the group had like coffee and cake with them so they could share like an hour or so together before everybody went home, I guess. The golf club had they have like a 7-year waiting list if you want to play golf there or become a member, but they also prioritize if you already have like family within the golf club already, because they want to have that community of people connecting with each other. So I thought that was quite like a good way of trying to maneuver this very egocentric and selfish me, myself, and I energy that is very kind of prominent during or under number 1 energy. And today something else happened, and I need to talk about it because I can't stop thinking about it. So I was on a regular walk now in the morning, and I walked past this place so many times and just found it, I wouldn't say dull, but sleeping. Like it's very sleepy energy. It's nothing much happens. I wasn't curious. Didn't make me feel something. And I'm talking about the country club here. Is this ginormous house by the water that Will and I walk past almost daily. Really bad weather, we don't walk by the water because it just gets too much wind and too much rain, and so we stick to like being around houses more so than kind of facing the weather. But for most part, we actually walk past that country club almost daily. I started, I don't know when, but they have like an udde, or like a place where you can sit, where it's like by the water and it's in front of the property, so it's not on the property, it's in front of it. So Ville and I started to kind of sit there for a second or two. It's direct sunlight and I don't like direct sunlight, so I can't sit there for longer period of time. But if it was shade or something, I would probably sit there for longer. But I found, I don't know if actually numbers reach that far, but I felt like when I sit there, I can, I said it before, I go through therapy and I want to kind of heal things. And I want to heal my relationship with food. I want to heal my relationship with how I come across, or my work, or creativity, and all of it. So I sat there for I don't know, say like 30 minutes or something each time, and I noticed that it was kind of a strong energy towards kind of starting new projects, or when I wanted to be extremely firm or fiery in some way, or when I wanted to kind of be bold and brave and like be ahead of something. That energy came across quite well when I sat there on that little like that is in front of this property. And I noticed that this property, the country club, has a number one, which correlates to the riding club and the golf club. However, this place has been quiet. It's been very sleepy. I haven't been curious whatsoever of anything going on there. And I'm quite a curious person, as you can tell. Today, however, they kind of distracted me or bothered me, not in a bad way. But I sat down as I usually do, and then I just started to journaling and started to like ask those questions and answering them, and I was interrupted like all the time. So I was eventually just, I can't sit here any longer and do what it is I usually do. And then I started to like look up at the country club and the house. You don't see much because it's like trees and vegetation in between, but you can see like some parts of like the entrance. And I was just, what in the world are you doing? Like, what is happening? Something is changing, because I've been able to sit here and do this like work I need to do to to kind of move forward with more force than I have in my core being. And I usually get to do that here. and they were just so loud, and it was a lot of energy, it was a lot of like loudness. They did something, it was something that was happening. And I started to wonder on my way home, okay, is it the season? I've only lived here for 6 months. Is it the season? Like it's spring, it's summer. Are they, taking advantage of whatever it is, and like have a lot of parties now because it's spring and it's sunny, and you know but something just felt, no, that's not it. Something has changed with that place. Someone has decided something, that either they're going to do more of something, being loud more, I guess. And I'm not saying that is bad. It kind of made me lift my head and watch the actual building or entrance in a way I haven't done before. I walk past and I can look at the house, but I look at every house I walk past because I like buildings, I like architecture, and I like gardens, and here they are very expressive of how the either house or themselves kind of want to be presented, and they spend a lot of money on it, and a lot of time and effort to come across as a way as they want, like the general public here, the community here, to want everybody to see them. So I kind of enjoy just like looking at houses and watch what's going on, and I'm extremely curious when like a renovation is, because they put like plastic all over the house like a big giant present or something, and then it just stays there for months, maybe years, because they can afford it to kind of have a house with plastic around it for that amount of time. And I found that fascinating, obviously, because if you live anywhere else, it doesn't really work that way. However, back to the country club. Um, Something has changed, and I don't know if there's like, I thought I, the energy that that house, that property, is kind of signaling out. It is like old establishment. We don't change the rules. We don't change how things are working. We don't change. So I think that is why I felt surprised by the fact that something has changed. I can't really put my finger on what though, because it was so sleepy. It was, you didn't really notice it. It was like wrapped in cotton or something. Like you could feel the dense the dense energy around that property, house, estate. I don't know. It's a very large house, so I don't know what to call it. Um, and now that is, it starts to feel more like you can breathe, like you. It's something that is like something is changing, and I can't really put my finger on what. And they are loud, and I think it's great. Obviously, I think a community like this needs somewhere that they can meet up and not have that boring, independent, everybody is on their own feeling that the one has, even if it's a good environment to do certain things in, like me journaling and wanting to take charge, like do the changes, take charge, starting new projects, and just have the fire that I usually do not have. So I have to take that energy from somewhere. and that is a really good place. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Maybe it's just the weekends. Maybe they are more quiet during the weekdays. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be loud now moving forward. Who knows? I was surprised though. I hope maybe they had problems with like memberships or finances, um, and they needed to change something. It obviously can be quite challenging on an establishment like that when you have the feeling that they don't really want to change. So you kind of have to make sure that if you do push for change, that you kind of win, which is a number one energy. Obviously, it's you need to kind of show that it's it's good to take charge of something instead of just waiting for it to kind of solve on its own. I think that is the energy that the number one is kind of trying to teach people. I thought that was interesting. Just a side note here. Um, I think I got a someone asked me when I did my last video about what I'm actually doing, and I'm trying to heal as much as I can right now. And I felt during Gemini season that I have a lot of panic attacks. During Taurus season, it wasn't that like prominent or severe or whatever you will call it. When Gemini season and like nervous system and anxiety and being in your head, mental like clarity and chitter chatter, it came full frontal. And um, I started to learn a lot of how sensitive I am. And I was a little bit anxious about Cancer energy because I usually can't handle that kind of emotions as everybody else. We are extremely bad at handling emotions. And Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces are all about it in different ways. And Cancer is often, I just end up eating ice cream, or even if I try to be like strict, or if I try to be, I'm in general an extremely healthy person, and then these energies come in and just destroys it for me, and I don't know how to handle it. So I'm learning how to actually move through them in a way that kind of heals that energy for me right now. I actually have like ice cream at home, and I've had ice cream at home for a couple of days because that is one of the challenges that I had to kind of do. And this is the first. It's not Haagen-Dazs, but it's one of the like really tasty ice creams. And I was panicking at first when I felt like I'm not going to be able to kind of keep this. We have the challenge is to have one ice cream every Friday for the next 4 weeks, and then just have it. And I just thought that this is never going to work. I and why I have such a difficult. Okay, so now we go into the like family deep stuff therapy thing. Why I have such a difficulty actually just having ice cream at home is for when I was a child, I had a lot of sisters and I had a lot of parents that couldn't handle food. My mother have an eating disorder. She would bake a lot and then she would diet, like just eating rice or something. And my dad has had uh, I don't know, he just wanted to eat like candy and stuff, and he wanted like company so he didn't feel that bad when he ate all the sugar that he could. He was a sugar addict and he wanted company. And it was like if you said no, he was angry with you. Like he really wanted to kind of drag you into his addiction. Um, and our mother was just chaos when it came to food. My sisters handled it in different ways. Some of them have been extremely like going overboard when it comes to health and trying to kind of figure out how to count things and work out and all of that, while others might not deal that well with food in general. I don't deal that well with food in general, even if I'm quite healthy as a person. And every time there is some energy that would suggest me to kind of fall, I do. And when I grew up, the family members, when my mother kind of baked, everybody would eat it in like a night or like within few hours. Everything was eaten, and sometimes you didn't get any. It wasn't like we always have like baked goods in the freezer or we always have ice cream or something, because everybody ate it quite fast. So that kind of stressed me out, and I haven't thought about this, but during this kind of exercise and me going through like the energies of Cancerian energy, I started to think about it and journal about it, the stress around food that we actually grew up in, and how everybody tried their best to handle it. I just want to heal it. I don't want to think that much about food. And I also asked about the food noise that is, people speak about it on TikTok. Is that a real thing? And it is a real thing, food noise. It's just that food noise comes from the patterns you had as a child, what your parents said and did, or what your sisters said and did during, or siblings, I might say, during your childhood. Like, you always eat up, which was something my sister forced me to when I didn't want to kind of finish my food. She forced me to when she was kind of babysitting or something. And I still remember that. And I ended up sitting under the kitchen table because I didn't want to eat what was left on my plate. And she didn't want to kind of give in. Today, I just tell myself that it's perfectly fine to leave food if I don't want it. I even put it in the freezer, or refrigerator. I mean, and I can also eat like ice cream, half of it, and I can put it in the freezer because it is all right. I don't have to play by my family's rule that they put on me as a child. And I kind of learned that also from TikTok. It was a guy that showed a video where he just said, my wife is quite weird. She does this." And then he went to the freezer and he opened it, and then he picked up like half an eaten ice cream, and he said, "She does this. She eats as much as she wants to, and then she puts it back, and she will finish it tomorrow or the day later or whenever she wants to. It's her ice cream and she has it here." I never heard about that before. No one in my family has ever said something like that, or show that that was ever like a possibility or something you could do. Like, you don't have to eat the whole thing. You can put it back in the freezer. You can choose to put it back in the freezer. So it's a lot of patterns like that that I need to reprogram, and you do so by, firstly, you've been asked a few questions and then you have to answer them. Often for me it's like, I'm panicking right now, and okay, why are you panicking? I'm panicking because I feel like I have ice cream at home and my brain doesn't want to forget that I have ice cream, so it can reminds me constantly that we have ice cream at home. And now when I'm saying it, probably my sister's voice, like, we have ice cream, we have ice cream, we have ice cream, or something. That is kind of my body is remembering. And when I like answered those questions and remembered what the things I'm supposed to remember, the questions moves on towards like, okay, but how would it feel to leave the ice cream, or how would it feel to take a few deep breaths, which is like a Gemini thing. When it comes to food, if you feel like you want to eat something but you really aren't hungry, or you don't want to, kind of either boredom or you have to breathe. It's like two things with Gemini and Gemini season, and I do both. I When I sat outside the country club, should I go to the bakery, but I don't want anything, and I don't want to spend money, and I don't want anything. Yeah, but you need to do something. And then I just realized, well, I'm bored. So you need to go home. I needed to go grocery shopping, and I needed to do something with my mind instead of being bored and then go and eat something at the bakery. Like that kind of a work is it what I'm doing right now. Like I'm like the feelings, the seasons, the signs, and the numbers kind of help me to pinpoint what it actually wants me to do. The Gemini season is the mind going to something that like feeds my brain rather than feeds my stomach if I'm not hungry or want something, obviously. And yeah, so then it's like affirmations. After you have answered these questions, you know what kind of feeling you have. If you're bored, or if you are not creative or mental, you're something with your brain, and you need to trying to figure out some kind of affirmation, like, I am fine, I'm going to go and do something, like do something that is mentally fulfilling rather than for my stomach. So that is how you kind of healed it. So I'm using both, and I'm learning a lot, and I'm going to continue doing this for all the signs, because I'm starting to get really annoyed when they can so easily kind of push me out of my path. Because if I kind of stand on my own in my own energy, I'm quite healthy. I move a lot, I am clear-minded, I don't have that, I don't have any addictions um, any longer. But it's like my nervous system and my emotional life, and like indulgence, and it's all that that I need to kind of heal. So I've started to kind of point it down on paper and in voicemails, so I don't forget, and like affirmations and things to do, like now during Gemini season, breathing. And am I bored? Yes, I am. Well, that is not, if you don't want to go to the bakery, then don't go to the bakery because you're bored. Do something else. And it worked, actually. So I just took my dog and I went home instead. Looking a little suspicious towards the country club, but at least I kind of broke that cycle, I guess. During Cancer season is going to be crying. I need to cry. I need to cry about everything. Like when I'm sad, when I'm angry, when I'm happy, when something is so beautiful that I just can't stop. I need to cry. And also like heavy blankets, um, and what was it? Like have something to drink, and like something warm to drink, and water. Water is quite important for a Cancerian. I'm obsessed with it, as I should, obviously, as a Cancerian. And I'm starting to kind of learn how to move through it without panicking over the things that I usually can't handle when that energy comes around. Because it's a lot of emotions. It's your family, your ancestors, your house, your home, your like comfort. Sentence. Is that scent? That is also something. And I'm actually going to buy that. I'm getting money on Tuesday, so I'm going into the city on Tuesday. I think I get money on Tuesday. They have said that, so I have to believe it now, I guess. So I'm going into the city and I'm going to buy scent also, something that is very calming and helps with like the nervous system, I guess, kind of calm things down to see if it helps. And I'm not going to have to do this for the rest of my life. They say, or they tell me, that you need to do this. Let's do it for a year, and you learn how to kind of cope with it, and then it's going to be something that you carry with you without thinking about it. So I think I'm going to do that for a year or so. Go through all the signs, and then just find the ways of kind of coping with it. Yeah, Taurus season, I was like taking long walks in the forest. During Gemini season, I'm supposed to take short walks around the neighborhood, which I actually started to do without even thinking about it. And then when I learned that, I was just, yeah, I started to do that without any like planning or thinking about it beforehand. So I'm taking like smaller walks now around the neighborhood more so than going away and taking long walks in the forest, which is kind of a tourist thing to do. So that is what I'm doing. I am very pleased with how it's going, actually. I have never felt like this before. And I also ask, is this you can have affirmations and you have, is this what normal people that didn't grow up in a toxic environment or with parents that were kind of addicted to something, is this stuff that they heard from their parents? And the answer was yes. This is something that their parents told them when they were a child, that this is okay, or they kind of comfort, or they gave you a hug, or they, and now you kind of have to do that yourself. You have to tell yourself these things, that no, it is actually okay to leave food if you don't want anymore, or kind of take your ice cream and put it back in the freezer if you want to. um, which was not okay when I was grew up. So I have, and it's like this aha moments constantly, like, oh, I didn't know that you can do that. Just people that grew up in completely different mindsets and how they work. And I have to, there's a lot about intuitive eating. I'm starting to kind of teach my body how to, or I have start to listen to my body when it says that I had enough, and I actually trust that feeling and I stop eating. And because that, with the kind of stress and cortisol levels that I had, wasn't, you just don't listen to your body, because all those signals just comes, I don't know, last. You don't, you feel the panic or you feel the stress or you feel any other emotion, and you try your very best to push through, and you try to do stuff when in reality you should just calm down and kind of listen to your body. And I wasn't brought up in an environment where you listen to your body, you listen to everybody else, not your body. And you weren't allowed to have boundaries, and you weren't, or the boundaries you had was crossed constantly. Like, you said no, but then everybody just wanted to kind of destroy that. And that's family. I mean, we all kind of fight our own battles, and my sisters fight their battle the way they say fit. I'm just a little different. I don't want to think that much. I want to eat whatever I want to eat, and I want to have ice cream at home, and I don't want to do what Skinny Talk has kind of arrived on my TikTok. And I listen, and sometimes I just feel like they have such a battle with food. Like, throw it out. And I don't want to throw out food. Food is expensive. I just don't want to eat it because I have a feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's like I want to have the ice cream in my freezer because I bought it. And someday, I don't know, a year from now, I might eat it. That is like the feeling I want. It's not the stress of like when I'm hungry, I'm eating 10 apples, or throw away the food so you don't eat it, or this is bad and this is good. I don't want any of it. I just want the peace of it, and just functioning like a normal human being that can be around this issue without having to make such a big deal about it. So that is what I'm doing. And I'm probably going to speak about this and the numbers and uh, how I'm kind of handling stuff moving forward, because I think this is interesting. I have never experienced this before in my life, and no one has spoken about it to me either. And that you actually can heal so much just knowing what kind of an energy you actually are in, and what like sign you are kind of working in right now. So that was what I had going right now, what I have going right now. I hope you have a really good Sunday.